Recording.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right. Let me get going here. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. This is Shankwiyah, One Vision Ministry. Today I'm going to speak on his choice is the right choice, despite what you or anyone else thinks. Subtitle is Chosen and Preassigned. Okay. Abiyah, thank you for the Shabbat. I thank you for this opportunity to talk to your people. May edification come forth. May I guess friction come about that brings forth growth. The iron that is needed to sharpen my iron as well as sharpen the iron of those that are willing to listen to this message. So that we can come to some clarity on some things. Often our lack of confidence, even the confidence of others towards us, can diffuse or break our will in moving forward in life, doing the things necessary for your will to be done here on earth as it is in the Shamayim. Sometimes what is seen as humility is actually an act of pride. Most take pride to be a positive thing or you seeing yourself better, but you can also see yourself less than what Yah says you are and not move when he tells you to move. You don't ever want to be in the position that you decide what you're unable to do when Yah has told you that you are able because he chose and preassigned you. Hallelujah. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of reading today. A lot of this reading that I'm going to do, you've been through these texts before, but I want to go through them with you and see if you can gain from my perspective. I want you to have your own, but I want you to see what I'm saying and maybe, I guess, challenge what I'm saying. Study it for yourself and see where you come out of the situation that of your study in the end. So let's get going. Let's get to this reading. So we're going to start off here in Shemot or Exodus 3. Start off with our brother Moshe. We were told his name was Moses, but it was probably more likely Moshe. Moses would be I guess, translation more so than a transliteration because it's not pronouncing it Moshe. But let's go. And Moshe was shepherding the flock of Yithro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. I like to point this out. Midian, the bloodline and family line of Midian. Abraham had children with Keturah, and one of them was Midian. So this was a Shemitic line. But let me keep going. And he led the flock to the back of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of Elohim. And the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him. Hear it clear. And the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked and saw the bush burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. And Moshe said, let me turn aside now and see this great sight, why the bush does not burn. And Yahuwah saw that he turned aside to see, and Elohim called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, here I am. Now, going back, a messenger of Yahuwah is what appeared to him. So, though we see that it's saying that Yahuwah spoke to him, it's that messenger that is acting as proxy and representative of Yahuwah that is actually speaking to him. He's being the mouthpiece of Yah. But keep going. And he said, "Do not come near here. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place of which you are standing is set apart ground." And he said, "I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yishak, and the Elohim of Yaakov." And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look at Elohim. He had reverence. And Yahuwah said, "I have indeed seen the oppression of my people who are in Mizraim, and have heard their cry because of their slave drivers, for I know their sorrows. And I have come down to deliver them from the hand of the Mizrahites, and to bring them up from the land to a good and spacious land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. And now, see, the cry of the children of Israel has come to me, and I have also seen the oppression which the Mizrahites oppress them. And now, come, I am sending you. I chose you. You are preassigned. I am sending you." The same Moses who had been in the wilderness or the desert for 40 years, the same Moses that was raised up in Pharaoh's house, he's going to get sent to Pharaoh. The same one who killed an Egyptian, same one who had no true relationship with his own kinsmen because he was raised in Pharaoh's house. The same one. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Mizraim. And Moshe said to him, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Mizraim?" You could say, "Oh, we could say this is humility." No, he lacks esteem in this situation because Yah is saying, "You're up here," but he like, I ain't worthy of this. No, no, no. That's a heavy task that you asking or putting on me. Who am I that I should do this? I was raised in Pharaoh's house, and I've been out basically away from that place because I was going to die if I would have stayed there. Who am I? And he said, "Because I am with you." That should be enough. Each and every one of you listening, if he tells you that he is with you, that should be enough. And this is to you the sign that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Mizraim, you are to serve Elohim on this mountain. Man, this man has been off to himself, basically, building up a family away from where he came from, what he knew. So he don't have no confidence in this. But of course, he's being encouraged by Yah. He in Yithro's house. So his brother and his sister ain't there. He's being encouraged directly by Yah. He's isolated from his people. Many of you who are walking as Israel find yourself isolated from your families. Your awakening has disturbed what was once a bond you had with your family. But you are important still to your family. He chose you. He preassigned you. What are you doing with that? I get it, you lack confidence in your dealings with your family, but you're a beacon of light in all that darkness that's around. Trust and believe that he pre-assigned you, that he chose you to wake you up when other people were asleep. If there was a fire in the home, the person that woke up first would be the one responsible for waking up everyone else and getting them out of the house that's burning. Are you able to do this? Or are you going to just sit there and burn up in that same house that's on fire? Or are you going to save yourself? Let me keep going. Because it wasn't just about Moses. He could have just talked to Moses and left the rest of them alone. But no, he chose him for a purpose for the rest of the people to get brought to light, brought to him. And Moshe said to Elohim, see, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the Elohim of your fathers has sent me to you. And they say to me, what is his name? And what shall I say to them? And Elohim said to Moshe, I am that which I am. The proper thing is I shall be what I shall be would be the proper transliteration. I mean, a translation, excuse me, not transliterate, translation. But this man Moshe needed some confidence in this moment. And, I shall sounds like something that's going to happen. He needed to know what was right now. He needed to know right now. I am that which I am, that confidence that comes with that. And then, when you slow down and you say, I am that which I am, the person that's saying that is saying that I am that which I am. I said myself, or you're representing someone else, but it's as if you're boldly speaking, just like that messenger was speaking to Moses, but it was Yah's words that's being said. Right now, you need to have the confidence in what you're saying. So what you're speaking is as if you're saying it, but you're saying it as Yah, just like that messenger. You have to have the confidence because Yah is whole. Yah is not about any doubt, any uncertainty. Yah knows the end from the beginning. And when you're functioning and operating, you need to have that same confidence. But some people will see it as arrogance. Some people will see it as pride. But it's actually an act of humility when you open yourself up to be the vessel that Yah uses to speak clearly his will. Some people are not comfortable with that because a lot of us have the uncertainty, the insecurity, and the doubt play out in our head. No, it couldn't be me. I couldn't be chosen. I'm not pre-assigned. I'm not even supposed to be here. Let me keep going. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. And Elohim said further to Moshe, thus you are to say to the children of Israel, Yahuwah your Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yitzchak, and the Elohim of Yaakov has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my remembrance to all generations. Go, and you shall gather the elders of Israel together and say to them, Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, of Yitzchak, and Yaakov appeared to me, saying, I have indeed visited you and seen what is done to you in Mizraim. And I say, I am bringing you up out of the affliction of Mizraim to the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorite and the Perizzite and the Hivites and the Jebusite to a land flowing with milk and honey. This ain't something that he needed to say shaky. He need to be boldly saying this, declaring this, confident. People want to hear confidence from the pure person that's before them trying to lead them. Not like, I don't know, you know, if you sounding all timid and scared, that's not building confidence in the people. And they shall listen to your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Israel, to the sovereign of Mizraim, and you shall say to him, Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. And now, please, let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness to slaughter to Yahuwah our Elohim. But I know the sovereign of of Mizraim is not going to let you go, not even by a strong hand. And I shall stretch out my hand and strike Mizraim with all my wonders, which I shall do in its midst. And after that, he shall let you go. And I shall give this people favor in the eyes of the Mizrahites. And it shall be that when you go, you shall not go empty handed. But every woman shall ask from her neighbor and from the stranger in her house objects of silver and objects of gold and garments, and you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters, and shall plunder the Mizrahites. So he's telling him a lot that's going to go on, and I'm pretty sure he ain't seeing it. So let's keep going. Shemot, Exodus 4. And Moshe answered and said, and if they do not believe me, nor listen to my voice, and say, Yahuwah has not appeared to you, Yahuwah saying it is enough, but not for Moshe here. Moshe is not comfortable with this assignment. He don't think that yeah, to me, I'm gonna put my own injection here. He like, you got the wrong one. Why they ain't gonna believe me? They don't listen to my voice. Why would they think you appeared to me? I've been away from them 40 whole years. And then even when I was there, I was in the oppressor's house. They rejected me even back then. Why would they accept me now when I've been away for 40 whole years? Let's keep going. And Yahuwah said to him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a rod. He had a rod. I'm gonna get up and grab. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. But I'm gonna take off my screen for a second and I'm gonna let you see. It ain't showing up on there. I might have to take off I'm gonna take off my background for a minute, just for a second. All right. See, that's my rod. Now let me put back on my background and let me keep going. But I just want you to see it. It ain't, it ain't showing up, you know, because of my background. But let's go. I'm gonna keep back going, get back to reading. Just wanted to show you that. All right. And Yahuwah said to him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, throw it on the ground. So he threw it on the ground and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from it. Some will say it's a snake, but I think it's probably more like a gator or something like that, some type of lizard. But anyway. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, reach out your hand and seize it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and took hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand. And so that they believed that Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yitzchak, and the Elohim of Yaakov has appeared to you. So it got to do a miracle or do something to show that he has power connected to him. And Yahuwah said to him again, now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom. So he put his hand in his robe by the chest area. And when he took it out, you see, his hand was leprous like snow. Now, mind you, if he was already palm skin, that would not be a feat. That wouldn't be nothing spectacular. So he went from my skin complexion to looking like snow. That would be amazing. And he said, put your hand in your bosom again. So he put his hand in his bosom again and drew it out of his bosom, and see, it was restored like his other flesh. Again, if it was palm skin color and he put it in there and came out white, that wouldn't be much of a task. Let's keep going. And it shall be, if they do not believe you, nor listen to the voice of the first sign, they shall believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall be, if they do not believe even these two signs, or listen to your voice, that you shall take water from the river and pour it on dry land, and the water which you take from the river shall become blood on the dry land. So Yah's encouraging him and giving him tools to do the job that he had already pre-assigned him for, that he already chose him for, that Moses lacked confidence that he was the right man for the job. But still, and Moses said to Yahuwah, "Oh Yahuwah, I'm not a man of words, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant, for I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." Now, I'm gonna hit something. I'm a person that, had a problem stuttering as a youth. But most people should consider this. Moshe was raised in the Egyptian palaces for 40 years. Yes, he's an Israelite, but he is very, very astute and studied as an Egyptian would be. So the Egyptian language would be his most common language that he would use in the house of Pharaoh. So it's probably he knew Hebrew, but he probably didn't speak it much. And then now you see him out of Egypt for over 40 years. No Israelite in sight. Yes, Yithro is a Midianite, but we don't know if he even spoke the same Hebrew of Abraham or not. We don't know. But this man is not regularly amongst his people, so he's not really in the flow of speaking to his people. So of course, his speaking would be slow. I've learned a little bit of Hebrew, but I'm not very learned of it to the point that I can call myself a master at it. I'm a novice, but I can pick up on some terms, but I have to do it slowly. So I'd be slow of speech and probably have to look up some of the stuff, and thus my confidence is not there in that language. I could understand his confidence not being there. But let's keep going. And Yahuwah said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Or who makes dumb or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, Yahuwah? And now go, and I shall be with your mouth and teach you what to say." So y'all look, I got the Ruach. I'm going to help you out. But he said, "Oh, Yahuwah, please send by the hand of him whom you would send." He like, "Nah, man, this ain't me." His lack of confidence in the assignment of Yah and being chosen is there. Insecurity, doubt. Come on. He lacked esteem. And then Yah's telling him what he's going to do. And where's his trust in what Yah's saying? It says, "And the displeasure of Yahuwah burnt against Moshe. And he said, Is not Aharon the Levite your brother? I know that he speaks well." Basically fluent in Hebrew. "And see, he is also coming out to meet you. And when he sees you, he shall be glad in heart. And you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I am with your mouth and with his mouth, and I shall teach you what to do. And he shall speak for you to the people, and it shall be that he shall be a mouth for you, and you shall be an Elohim for him. Is it saying he's Elohim? Just like the messenger in the bush was speaking for Yahuwah. Moshe is going to be speaking for Yahuwah. Now Aaron is going to be speaking for Moshe. So he's going to be an Elohim for him. Moshe is going to be an Elohim for Aaron. He's going to be the one that's guiding his mouth. A proxy, a representative. And take this rod in your hand, which you have had, which you shall do the signs. And let me come up out of that. All right. So the anointed person anointed for the duties is Moshe. The word anointed is Messiah or Mashiach. He is the Mashiach, the one appointed for that situation. He's the one assigned, the chosen one for that moment. But as you see, he was going to be an Elohim to Aaron. He didn't see himself in that position, but he was representing Yah. He was basically the image of Yah that was representing Yah in the earth at that moment. He was Adam for that moment. He was going to express the dominion of Yah in that moment. He didn't see himself as that, though. But let's keep going. I got other places to go, so let's go. All right. This will be a shorter read, but it's still very much in the vein of where I'm going. So we're going over here to Yirmiyahu 1. Jeremiah 1 is what most would call it. It says, the word of Yirmiyahu, the son of Hilkiyahu, of the priests who were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahuwah came in the days of Yoshiyahu, son of Ammon, sovereign of Yahudah, in the 13th year of his reign. And it came in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Yeshayahu, sovereign of Yahudah, until the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, son of Yoshiyahu, sovereign of Yehudah, until the exile of Jerusalem in the 5th new month. Now the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, before I formed you in the belly. He was preassigned, he was chosen. I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I did set you apart. Yah knows the end from the beginning. Many of us will acknowledge that Yahusha is head. But the body, the remnant of believers, was also was connected to that head. A head separated from his body is perversion. So that remnant was always known, just like he knew Yahusha, he knew his remnant also. But let me keep going. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I did set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. He assigned him a prophet to the nations before he formed him in the belly. Chosen, preassigned. So no, Yah is not a respecter of person. If he has done this with Yirmiyahu, he did this also with Moshe. Why not you? If you are walking as awakened, you are preassigned, you are chosen. Let me keep going. And said I, Ah, Master, Yahuwah, see, I do not know how to speak. Now, this man right here is born and raised amongst his people. He don't have that time away from his people like Moshe, but he's still saying, for I'm a youth. So his age is now coming into question, or what's the challenge? Not, I'm getting up in age, but his youth is what he's trying to put forth as a valid excuse. And Yahuwah said to me, do not say I am a youth, but go to all whom I send you and speak whatever I command you. Be my representative, be my proxy, be my image in the earth, be Adam, be my anointed one, my Messiah, my Mashiach for this time. Do not fear their faces, for I am with you. I am, I am, I am with you to deliver. I am with you to save. Deliver and save. Yahuwah is salvation. Right now, I am to deliver you. I am to say. He's letting it be known that he is the salvation. Many will try to put Yahusha here, but I'm just showing that Ruach, or that spirit of Yahuwah, has always been on every one of the messengers of Yah. Yahusha himself benefited from learning of this. He learned through obedience, through studies, through living. But do not fear their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, declares Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. Yahuwah's is Ruach. So what hand? What actually touched his mouth? Was there a hand that touched his mouth actually? That's a question. No, his Ruach opened his mouth. And Yahuwah said to me, see, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the reigns, to root out and pull down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. Okay, stop and slowly read this. I have this day set you over the nations and over the reigns. If you're over the nations and over the reigns, what? You have dominion. Adam had what? Dominion over all the earth. He has set you over the nations and over the reigns. This is what he's saying to Jeremiah. He has appointed him to be his representative, his Adam, his image in the earth, to root out and pull down, to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. This same youth that didn't see himself worthy of this position, Yahuwah has appointed him, anointed him, assigned him, chosen him for the duty. And the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, what do you see, Yirmiyahu? And I said, I see a branch of an almond tree. And Yahuwah said to me, you have seen well, for I am watching over my word to do it. If you are operating as a son of Yah, Exodus 4:22 calls Israel, the whole Israel, as a son. If you're operating as one of those that make up that son, doing his will, he will word your mouth. He will guide you. Again, let's keep going. We see that a leader can have uncertainty, can question his own ability to be a leader. He can think that all those around him are going to discredit him and say he's not worthy or whatever. See, I was one that was raised that was said I was a bastard because my mother was not in wedlock. Though my mother was a virgin till she hooked up with my father. She was not his first woman either. So he had children before me. That in itself, some people say, well, he should have only been with the one woman. I would not be here if he would. But Yah knew I was going to be here. I didn't expect to live past 18 and was living basically like I didn't expect to live past 18. And as I got past 18, my life got very uncomfortable because I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I had not prepared to live past 18. I'm 53 years old. So 18 is way back there to me. But to him, that ain't nothing but a speck of time. And over, I've tried to avoid my assignment. 2001, he let me know you cannot destroy what does not belong to you. You are my property. Because I was in the mode of destroying me or someone else at that time. But I was mostly focused on destroying me. And he got me out of that and said, your latter days are going to be better. And that didn't mean that my latter days weren't going to have any challenges. And it definitely did not mean that I was not going to lack confidence. If anybody knew me back in the days, I was not this talkative. I was not as what viewed as confident. But my confidence is not in me. It's in Yah has chosen me. I was a whoremonger. But then he put me with a wife now that, I'm like, I don't desire, or even if I have the temptation of other women, this woman is more than enough for me. He given me a good one. I've seen what bad he is or not good he is. So but anyway, let me get back. I'm rambling a little bit. I love to do that. My rabbit trails are fun for me. So excuse me, but let me keep going. All right. All right. So right here, I'm gonna just read a little short something. You know, this right here that I'm gonna read, most people know this story because they focus on the subject person in here, and that person is Deborah, but I'm not focusing on her right now. I want to show something. Shaphatim, or Judges 4, it says, and when Ehud was dead, the children of Israel, Ehud was the previous judge, the children of Israel again did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah. Therefore, Yahuwah sold them into the hands of Jabin, the sovereign of Canaan, who reigned in Hatzor, and the commander of his army was Sisera, who was dwelling in Harosheth Hagoyim, and the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah because he had 900 chariots of iron, and 24 years he harshly oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was ruling Israel at that time. Now, that's an interesting term to put prophets because I don't remember there ever being that term, or, when you look at the prophets, there's never been that assignment as far as the kingdom duties or whatever. But, let's keep going. Doesn't matter for at this time. And she was dwelling under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah, and Beth El in the mountains of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for right ruling. And she sent and called for Barak. Now, this is my point of emphasis, Barak, son of Benoam from Kadesh and Naphtali, and said to him, listen to this. Let me read it slow. Has not Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, commanded? So, has, that means past tense. I get it. This is in the English. So of course there could be some error here, but she's asking him something about information he already is supposed to know. She ain't bringing new information to him. She's not delivering him an assignment. She's asking him about an assignment he should already know of. Has not Yahuwah Elohim of Israel commanded, Go, and you shall draw towards Mount Tabor, and shall take with you 10,000 men of the sons of Naphtali and of the sons of Zebulun? So that's a full out assignment. This man is supposed to, not just him, take 10,000 sons of Naphtali and the sons of Zebulun. This man was a leader as far as the army, the military, and he's supposed to get his men together. But check it out. And I should draw to you Sisera, the commander of Yabin's army. Like, y'all gonna give him Sisera, the commander of Yabin's army, with his chariots and his company at the Wadi Quishon, and shall give him into your hand. Y'all done set it up for him perfectly. But check it out. And Barak said to her, If you go with me, then I should go. But if you do not go with me, I ain't going. So Yah has given him clear assignment and told him that he gonna have victory. But he like, nah, I don't got no confidence in that. But if you go with me, I do it. So he got to trust in this woman over Yah. No, I'm not discrediting her as a woman, not discrediting her as her position as a judge. But Yahuwah has told him and gave him assignment. And he rather a human being with him, that's more substantial than Yah telling him. He got more trust in a human being with him, a human, than Yah telling him. He's like, nah, this man was pre-assigned for this duty. This was something he's in the position to lead over these men, but yet he like, no, if you don't go, I ain't going. He's rebellious against the will and words of Yah. And he only will comply and do what said to be done if this woman goes with him. If you go with me, then I should go. But if you do not go with me, I do not go. That sounds very firm in his position that he ain't going unless she go. And she said, I shall certainly go with you then. Oh, she's sounding to me, I'm gonna put my own thought on it, that she was reluctant to do this because a woman ain't supposed to be on the battlefield. There's a law about that it's supposed to be the men. But she like, I should certainly go, only there shall be no esteem for you. This was your assignment, but you're going to do it only because I'm going to be there. So you ain't going to get no esteem for it in your journey. And you are, for you in the journey you are taking. For Yahuwah is going to sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And it's not even her. So Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. This man rejected the will of Yah only if this woman was going to go. That's a disgraceful place to be. And that's, honestly, I see a lot of these men that claim to be leaders, they won't do what they're supposed to do, say what they're supposed to say, minister on what they're supposed to minister, unless their wife approves of it. If their wife doesn't approve of it, they ain't talking on it. They ain't trying to, they happy wife, happy life. That's some garbage. But a lot of men operate off that's called themselves leading. They want to appease their women to the point that they will ignore what is lawful, ignore what's the will of Yah, and won't even speak on it because they don't want to offend their wife. They have no governance, no rule in their home. They got to have that woman. And I'm not trying to knock their wives. The women ain't the problem. It's that man acting as Ahab and allowing that Jezebel spirit to have reign. If Ahab would have spoken up, Jezebel would have no power, no authority, because all the power and authority she used was Ahab's authority. Okay, let me continue. Let me go further. All right. I gotta stop that and then I gotta come back in because let me see. I'm gonna finish it off with a little bit of reading here. So let me see. I wasn't trying to go long, but I want to show you another brother, another fellow Israelite that lacked confidence in the assignment. I'm gonna stay in Shaphatim, but I'm gonna move to 6. So Judges 6. And the children of Israel did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah gave them into the hand of Midian for 7 years. Again, remember Midian, Abraham's son by Keturah is Midian. So these are Shemitic people. Most of the issues Israel had was with their own family, though. But let's keep going because Esau is family too. He's Shemitic, but let's keep going. And the hand of Midian was strong against Israel. And before the faces of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them for themselves the refuges which are in the mountains and the caves and the strongholds. And it came to be whenever Israel had sown that Midian would come up and Amalek and the people of the east would come up against them and encamp against them and destroy the increase of the soil as far as Azah, and leave no food in Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor donkey. So they would let them grow the stuff up and get it all prepared and destroy it before they could even enjoy it. So they would do all that labor and they would destroy the works of their labor before they were able to eat it. They was doing them dirty. For they came up with their livestock in their tents, coming in as numerous as locusts, and they and their camels were without number, and they came into the land to destroy it. Thus Israel was brought very low because of Midian, and the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah. And it came to be, when the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah because of Midian, that Yahuwah sent a prophet to the children of Israel, who said to them, Thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, I have brought you up from Mizraim, and I brought you out of the house of bondage, and I delivered you, I saved you out of the hand of the Mizrahites, and out of the hand of all your oppressors, and drove them out before you, and gave you their land. And I said to you, I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Do not fear the mighty ones of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, and you have not obeyed my voice. When we obey Yah, who can touch us? As a nation of people, when we obey, not individuals, but as a nation. And the messenger of Yahuwah came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Oprah. See, notice a messenger of Yahuwah, which belonged to the Joash, the Abiezerite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the wine press. Now, it's a wine press and you threshing wheat in there. You trying to hide what you doing. That should be grapes in the wine press, but you got wheat in there to hide it from the eyes of the Midianites, because they stealing up all your food, destroying all your food. So you got to hide it. You got to do this stuff. You acting timid. You acting scared. Like, man, you ain't seeming mighty at all. And the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him and said to him, Yahuwah is with you, you mighty brave one. Gideon, like, he's looking around like, who you talking to? You ain't talking to me. Brave. I'm scared. I ain't a little scared. I'm scared, scared. And Gideon said to him, "Oh, my master, if Yahuwah is with us, why has all this come upon us? It just said it earlier, y'all ain't being obedient. That's why it couldn't upon us." But let me keep going. And where are all his wonders, which our fathers related to us, saying, "Did not Yahuwah bring us up from Mizraim?" But now Yahuwah has left us and given us into the hands of Midian. Why? Again, why? Because you've been disobedient. Why are we, Israel, constantly in the position that they're in? Disobedience. You can talk about grace all day, but that grace is there. But our disobedience, as long as it's still there, we're not going to get the abundance that we're supposed to get. We're going to just be okay. And we should be wanting to be more better than okay, because he's chose us to reign with him, and we okay with being at the bottom. We okay with being the tail instead of the head for some reason. If we just obey, we get rose up. We ain't raising up. He'll raise us up. But let me keep going. And Yahuwah turned to him and said, "Go in this strength of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you? You've been appointed, man. You've been chosen. Come on. You've been pre-assigned." Nah, nah, not me. Not me. Not this scary one. No, no, no. And he said to him, "Oh, Yahuwah, with what do I save Israel? See, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." Oh, he humble, you would think. No, that's that pride, that negative pride. He's speaking low of himself when Yah just told him through his messenger, brave, you mighty. But no, he won't say he the weakest. He looking at how he sees himself and not how Yah sees himself. He looking at how everybody around him see him and not how Yah see. Come on. How many of us have let other people speak against our assignment? We lack confidence in our assignment because other people don't see that in us. We walking in the lane that Yah has set for us, but we don't see because well, we might even see it, but we don't have other people confirming it, so we lack confidence in it. But let me keep going. And he said to him, "O Yahuwah, with what do I save Israel? See, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." And Yahuwah said to him, "Because I am with you." When Yah is for you, it's greater than if the world is against you. I am with you. You got to believe Yah. If he tells you that he's with you, don't matter what other people say. That appointment, that assignment, you are Messiah. You are anointed for that reason. You are chosen for that reason. Go forth in that, knowing that Yah has set you to the task. And he has told you what the completion of it will be if you obey him. Because I am with you, you shall strike the Midianites as one man. Israel is always supposed to be one man, one son. Exodus 4:22. If we all obey, if we walk, the remnant of us, the majority of us need to be coming to clarity and obedience. But let me keep going. And he said to him, "Please, if I have found favor in your eyes, then show me a sign that it is you who are speaking with me." He testing the spirit, testing the Ruach. Yahuwah does not have a problem with us testing us because he ain't challenged by no questions. He ain't challenged by our lack of trust or doubt. If he has chosen you, he's up for the task. Go ahead and test him. So right now, he's being tested by Gideon. I would say we should not operate in the doubt, but this is obvious that that's what happened by this man who was said he was brave. He said, please do not move away from here until I come to you and bring out my offering and set it before you. And he said, I shall stay until you return. And Gideon went in and prepared a young goat and unleavened bread from an ephah of flour. The meat he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and he brought them out to him under the terebinth tree and presented it. And the messenger of Elohim said to him, take the meat and the unleavened bread and lay them on the rock and pour out the broth. And he did so. And the messenger of Yahuwah put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and fire went up out of the rock and consumed the meat and unleavened bread. Woo! Again, fire went up out of the rock with the touch. Let me stop that for a second. With the touch, you can't really see. Let me see if my hand is up here. You can see that with the touch of the rod. Oh, look. And fire went out of the rock and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread. And the messenger of Yahuwah went from his sight. So he's showing his power. And when Gideon saw that he was a messenger of Yahuwah, Gideon said, oh, master, Yahuwah, for I have seen a messenger of Yahuwah face to face. Oh, man. He was surprised. And Yahuwah said to him, peace be with you. Shalom. Do not fear. You do not die. And Gideon built a slaughter place there to Yahuwah and called it Yahuwah Shalom. Shalom, peace. Okay. To this day, it is still in Ophrah of the Abiezerites. And the same night it came to be that Yahuwah said to him, take the young bull of your father and the second bull of 7 years old, and you shall throw down the slaughter place of Baal. Baal, Lord. Yeah, I done talked on that so many times. Baal and Lord, that word is, anyway, let me keep going. That your father has, and cut down the Asherah that is beside it. And you shall build a slaughter place to Yahuwah your Elohim on top of this rock in an orderly way, and shall take the second bull and offer an ascending offering with the wood of the image which you cut down. So you destroying these deities, these false gods, this idolatry, and you're going to use the same wood that they were made of to make an altar offering to Yah. And Gideon took 10 men from among his servants. So he had servants, but remember, it sounded like he was calling himself poor and all this other stuff, but he got servants. But took 10 men from among his servants and did as Yahuwah had said to him. And it came to be, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city too much to do it by day, that he did it by night. So this brave one, he was told he was brave, but he still was operating in a level of fear. He didn't want to be seen doing this, so he did it in secret. He did it in the cover of night. And the men of the city arose early in the morning. They rose in the AM and saw the slaughter place of Baal was broken down, and the Asherah that was beside it had been cut down, and the second bull was being offered on the slaughter place which was built. And they said to each other, who has done this deed? And when they had inquired and asked, they said, Gideon, son of Joash, has done this deed. So they searched it out and figured it out. And the men of the city said to Joash, bring out your son so that he dies, For he has broken down the slaughter place of Baal, and because he has cut down the Asherah that was beside it. So what's done in the dark comes to light. I'm like, he could have just went on and did it in boldness, but of course, this is the process. This is something right here that many don't grasp. Even with Moses, even with Jeremiah, Yahoo, that uncertainty may be the start, but you keep building up and building up through experience with Yah. Every time you encounter Yah, and every time you obey, you start growing confidence in Yah, not in yourself, but in Yah. Because as you trust him, you start seeing the benefits or the results. You go from being bound in your flesh to now being free in Yah. The more you trust him, the more you obey him, a lot of the things that had you bound no longer have a hold of you. Say you were eating certain foods, but the more you trust in him and put those things away, now you don't even have the temptation anymore. Same thing could be with cigarettes, all this other stuff. You start the habit of trusting Yah, and though you may have doubt to begin with, he's going to get you to the point that he sees you, that you never seen yourself be at. But let me keep going. And Joash said to all who stood against him, I see that comma. Let me slow down. Would you plead for Baal? Would you save him? Let the one who would plead for him be put to death by morning. If he is a mighty one, let him plead for himself. So that Asherah and that Baal, those idols, if they were really mighty ones, let them handle this business. We shouldn't have to do this towards our brother. If he is a mighty one, let him plead for himself, because his slaughter place has been broken down. So that day he called him Yerubbaal, saying, let Baal plead against him, because he has broken down his slaughter place. Now all Midian and Amalek and the people of the east were gathered together, and they passed over and encamped in the valley of Yisrael. Then the spirit or the Ruach of Yahuwah came upon Gideon, and he blew the shofar, and the Abiezrites gathered behind him. And he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who also gathered behind him, and he sent messengers to Asher and to Zebulun and to Naphtali, and they came up to meet them. And Gideon said to Elohim, if you are saving Israel by my hand, as you have said, see, I am placing a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. Again, he finna test him again. Y'all ain't got no problem with it. Come on with it. If there is dew only on the fleece, and it is dry on the ground, then I shall know that you are saving Israel by my hand, as you have said. And it was so. He rose early the next morning and pressed the fleece and wrung dew out of the fleece to fill a bowl with water. And Gideon said to Elohim, do not be displeased with me, and let me speak only this time. So he finna test him again. Please let me try only this time with the fleece. Please let it be dry only on the fleece, and let there be dew on all the ground. So he basically reversed the process. Something that would be, uncommon. That wouldn't be the normal how that would happen. If this fleece is on the ground and the ground is wet, it would make sense that the fleece would get, wet too, but he wants the fleece to be dry. And Elohim did so that night, and it was dry on the fleece only, but there was dew on all the ground. So let me move over here. Shaphatim, Judges 7. I'm going to get ready to close this out. And Yerubbaal, that is Gideon, they started calling him Yerubbaal, and all the people who were with him rose up early and encamped by the fountain of Harod. So the camp of Midian was on the north side of them by the hill of Moreh in the valley. Moreh, huh? and, and Yahuwah said to Gideon, the people who are with you are too many for me to give Midian into their hands. See, Yah, he don't want it to look like you did it. He don't want you to get confidence that, I did this. So when you are in this position where you can't think it can happen, that's the best time to trust in Yah so he can show up and show out. The people who are with you are too many for me to give Midian into your hands, lest Israel boast against me, saying, my own hand has saved me. And now proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, whoever is afraid and trembling, let him turn back and leave Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the people turned back when 10,000 remained. So 22,000 plus 10,000 is 32,000. So it went from 32,000 down to 10,000 remain. And Yahuwah said to Gideon, the people are still too many. Bring them down to the water and let me prove them for you there. And it shall be that of whom I say to you, this one goes with you, then let him go with you. And whoever I say to you, this one does not go with you, let him not go. So he's giving him an opportunity to obey him. Again, he's setting it up for him. So he brought the people down to the water, and Yahuwah said to Gideon, everyone who laps the water with his tongue as a dog laps, separate him from everyone who bows down on his knees to drink. And the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, was 300 men. 300. It's out of 10,000. And the rest of the people bowed down on their knees to drink water. So it's 10,000 minus 300. How many is that? That's 999,700. So 99. Hold on. Let me get back. Let me count. So I said it's 30. So no. That's 9. Okay, let me get this right. I want to get my math right. See, I used to be excellent in math. So I said it's just 10,000. So now that would be 9,000. No, that means, excuse me, it's 10,000. That's 900. Hold on, let me get that. Hold on. Hold on. I said down to 300 men. So it was 10,000. So that'd be 10,000. 10,000 would drop it down to 1,000. So 10,000 would be minus 3. See, I say that now I'm stumbling on my math. So 10, and that dropped that to 1. So 10,000. Man, I'm stumbling. Let me skip past that because my mind it's minus 300. So that 9,700. Yeah, I see. My mind is not like it used to be. See, I'm getting older. I'm not as I used to be swift at math. But anyway, and the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to the mouth, was 300 men, and all the rest of the people bowed down in their knees and drink. And Yahuwah said to Gideon, by the 300 men who lapped, I save you. So, man, he went down to 300 people. Man, he took away all these, come on. He took away all that, he took away a lot of people. He took down 9,300 people. 900, 700 people, excuse me, away. That's a lot of people. And Yahweh said to Gideon, by 300 men who lapped, I save you. I'm going to use just 300. And shall give Midian into your hand, and let all the other people go, each to his place. And the people took food and their shafarat, or their shafar, in their hand, and he sent away all the rest of Israel, each to his tent, but held on to those 300 men. Now the camp of Midian was below him in the valley. But I'm going to just stop right there because I did a lot of stammering at the end or whatever, but it's all good. But he used 300 men. So y'all let him know, look, I'm even with you, but I'm going to show you that, you ain't got to have confidence in men, large numbers or whatever. I got you. I'm going to use a small number just to show, you're going to have a little confidence in me here, and it's going to keep growing. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show up for you. I showed up and did the fleece. I showed up and burnt up the food. He keeps showing up for him. You are assigned. You are appointed. You are anointed. You're chosen to deliver. Be the Messiah or the Mashiach in your household, to your family. You're awakened for a purpose. Keep being all that you're supposed to be before your families. These ones that are still caught up in Christianity and everything like that. Yes, you may have some doubt, some discomfort in the task that's given to you. Moshe did. Yirmiyahu. But Yah knew you from the beginning. He knew the end from the beginning. Come on. I get it. People have talked down on you and said, nah, because I get it. I've been talked down on and, made to see myself as a bastard and all this different stuff and not worthy. I guess the Hebrew word or a mamzer. And that ain't even so. I was born of a virgin woman, so, what? She didn't know no other man. Regardless if they were married or not. We've been looking at these legal papers or whatever and stuff like that, and that being, issue and stuff like that. Nah. And I wasn't even the first child, by that man. He had 2 children with 2 other women. You can find all of the reasons not to do what Yah has told you to do. Find a reason to do what he's saying. Obey him. Seek him out. Be about his will. And watch how he shows up and show out. Abiyah, thank you for the Shabbat. Thank you for this opportunity to minister. May someone have gained something from this. I still am open for the constructive criticism that comes. Again, I always say they don't have to attack me. They don't have to, be derogatory towards me. But I am open for anyone to disagree with me. I believe in the friction. I believe in the opposition coming in words that, can be done in a respectable, reasonable way so that we can grow together. We can be the iron, the hard metal rubbing against each other, and that friction bring forth sharpening both ways. I thank you for the process that you've brought me through. In 2001, when you told me that my latter days would be greater, I lack confidence in it, but I'm like, I didn't take my life and I'm still here. I've been serving purpose. And yes, I have many flaws, many hurts. They say that hurt people. But in my hurts, I minister rather than hurt people. There have been so many that have tried to take ministry out of my hand and say that I am not worthy. But over and over, you have pressed me forward to keep at it. You've told me that I was chosen and preassigned. So I have to let the noise be the noise. Filter it out and keep obeying you, doing your will. And I hope that others have benefited from this message so that they can filter out the noise, stay in their lane, and do what you have told them to do. despite all the criticisms and critiques of others, despite their lowest self-esteem and them not seeing themselves as your son, but they should be doing your will, having your will be done on earth as it is in the Shamayim, being your image, expressing your dominion in all that they do. Not trusting only in grace. Yes, we accept grace, but we rather be in obedience than need further sacrifice. We thank you for the sacrifice of Yahusha, but his example we want to follow, to walk through in obedience, to even be able to be sacrificed ourselves if necessary, to show others that trusting in you has a greater reward in the end. Hallelujah, Yada Yahuwah, Shabbat Shalom.